Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Sports Room. It's been quite an exciting World Cup till now. Today we will be previewing the round of 16. Starting with the first match, the Netherlands versus USA. So Netherlands so far has been a steady team. They have not been outstanding, but interestingly, in the last two matches, as Memphis Depay is slowly playing himself back to fitness, there has been a good link up between Depay and this tournament's starman Cody Gakpo. So yeah, I think if they are able to link up well, they can trouble almost any defense in this World Cup. The USA has been a very exciting team to watch, very attacking, but they have lacked end product. They have struggled to score goals. So a lot of their game depends on their energy and athleticism. So you would think that the Netherlands having the technical quality that they have, and they have almost, it's like they have the right kind of players to negate the US attack. For example, they have a fast centre back in City's Ake. Then they have a what you call a press resistant holding midfielder in Frenkie de Jong. So, and of course Gakpo is in great form, and with Depay returning to the team, so they seem to have the right tools to negate the US attack. But then it's a knockout fixture, so anything can happen. So while we can expect a very fast start from the US, but I think at the end of the day, Netherlands is going to be the team that's going to go forward. But it will become a very exciting match if the US can score first. So hopefully that happens. Then the second fixture is Argentina against Australia. So it seems like an easy fixture for Argentina on paper, but then Australia, even when they lost 4-1 against France, they had put up a really good performance even in that match, and obviously after that they went on to get results. So again, we should be expecting Argentina to be able to go through. But again, what we can expect from Australia is very high energy, very intense stuff, especially early on. And if Australia is able to score early, they will be able to trouble Argentina. The longer the game goes without a goal, I think Australia will get tired. So I think for them it's important to score early, and Argentina it's important that they start players who have been performing well, because we have seen Julian Alvarez coming in and performing well. Then Enzo Fernandez in midfield has performed well. So these two players I think should start in the knockout fixture, even though they are not as experienced as some of the other players in the squad. And then you have somebody like Lisandro Martinez, who has been in great form. He's not starting in defense, so that is a matter of concern. If the coach decides to go with Otamendi and Romero, they could be that could be a problem against a very energetic Australian team. But again, the difference in quality should see Argentina through. We have France, Poland, again the same. The difference in quality is too much. Poland has Lewandowski, who has not really set the World Cup on fire, but I think he has performed a lot better than what people are giving him credit for. Like even in the match against Argentina, Lewandowski did hold up the ball well, and he tried to bring his teammates into the play. So that's all he can do given the lack of service. So just because he is not scoring a lot of goals, people tend to think that he has underperformed. But I think Lewandowski has been steady, if not spectacular. And obviously Szczesny has already proven himself adept at saving penalties. So if I think France has to attack, because if the longer this game is interesting, because the longer the game goes on without a goal, I think it will favor Poland more than France, because France has some temperamental attacking players who will get frustrated and start losing their cool. But luckily they have experience, they have World Cup experience of winning the tournament. So because of that, you would think that they would be patient. But then the midfield of that team, the core of the team is not present. So these younger players, if they're not able to break down what is going to be clearly going to be a weaker Poland team, towards the end of the match they may make bad decisions, like for example going for a shot instead of passing. So if they start making those decisions, they'll play into Poland's hands. But then obviously France is at a different level, so you have to expect France to go through. But if it's a shootout, then again, because of Szczesny's form, you could say that Poland have an advantage. So the longer the game goes on without a goal, Poland may, the mentality will be different for Poland, because they know that they are the inferior team. So I think France has to score early to avoid any avoid being in a situation where they find it difficult later on. So I think France will have to attack from the off. Then we have England versus Senegal. Senegal are of course missing their talisman Sadio Mane in this tournament. The team has done well to get through the group, especially against a tough Ecuador side in the last match. So England, the defenders have interestingly performed well. Harry Maguire and John Stones at the beginning of the tournament, they looked like they could be a weakness, but they have performed well. And the attack is also doing well. But then you always expect, especially because neither Maguire nor Stones are especially fast. So if Senegal is able to get their fast players to run at the England centre backs, they may have a chance. So that's going to be a very interesting game because England is again the superior team. The attack is doing well and the defense is looking steady, but there are clear weaknesses in the side. So it remains to be seen whether Senegal can take advantage of that. I think that game, if England scores early, it will be comfortable for England. If Senegal scores early, you would still expect England to have enough to come back. So I think that has to be an England win. Japan versus Croatia is interesting because Japan has beaten two European teams in Spain and Germany. Even Germany this time, despite the disappointment, the midfield especially was actually good. So the fact that Japan managed to beat them is a great achievement. So Croatia plays in a manner that is somewhat similar to Germany. They don't hold on to the ball as much as a team like Spain, but they play these triangles. They create space and pass and move. So that's how they create their chances. So Japan's experience against Spain and Germany will come in handy against Croatia. So in those two upsets, we saw that Japan was more reserved in the first half. They were trying not to concede too many goals. Even if they conceded one goal, that is fine. But then don't try to concede 3 or 4 goals in the first half. So they were more reserved and conservative in the first half. And in the second half, in both those matches, you saw a more energetic Japan. So that is how they were able to overwhelm Germany. Against Spain, they did not have much of the ball even in the second half. But then their intensity was enough to unsettle the Spanish players. Even though they were comfortable in possession, Japan's intensity of pressing in the second half denied Spain from creating too many clear-cut chances. So I think against Croatia, they may go for a similar approach where they are more reserved in the first half and then step up the intensity in the second half. In the last World Cup, Japan were very unlucky not to progress from the round of 16. I think this time they will be determined to do so, and despite the quality in the Croatia squad, I think it wouldn't be too surprising if Japan manages to get through to the quarterfinals. Then we have Brazil, South Korea. South Korea, like Japan, they have a lot of players who are very fit. So they are capable of playing a high intensity game late into the match. We have seen that in the last 2 matches. Even though they lost against Ghana, they really stepped up the attack towards the end of the match. And against Portugal again, they managed to get a late winner. So they are capable of doing the same, but they have not quite been as successful at it as Japan have been. So against the Brazil team, which will again be playing their first team, against Cameroon, Brazil played the reserves. So against the Brazil first team, I think it will be very difficult for South Korea. But South Korea is definitely capable of troubling Brazil because they are going to be very hardworking and like unsettling the Brazilian defenders, especially in possession. So that's going to be a good watch. But then you would expect Brazil to be able to get through. What the good thing for South Korea is that in the last match against Portugal, their star man Heung-min Son finally got some good ball possession. He played a brilliant through pass for the winning goal. So you can never rule out South Korea in a knockout match, but then I think Brazil just has too much quality. Morocco-Spain is arguably the most interesting match of the round of 16 because we know that Spain dominates possession, and Morocco is a team which is very comfortable without possession. So it balances out, and Morocco's best players are its 2 wingers, Ziyech and Boufal, and the 2 fullbacks, the wing backs in Hakimi and Mazraoui. So the Morocco's strength is really in the wide areas. So if they are able to absorb Spain's pressure and hit them on the counter attack, they are capable of stretching Spain's defense because of their width, because of the strength in the wide areas. And of course, the center of the pitch, they have very steady players who will be able to, whose job it will be to contain Spain. But again, containing Spain is easier said than done because they pass and move so much that defenders tend to get dizzy. There is a feeling that this could be a big shock if Morocco manages to hold on. And again, because Spain has some young players who are performing remarkably well, but then you get the feeling that the longer Morocco manages to hold on, the more frustrated the Spanish players will become. But then Spain, the thing with Spain is that they are so used to dominating possession that without scoring goals, especially in the Euros, we saw that they had so much of the ball, they did not score too many goals. So they are used to having a lot of the ball without scoring goals. So you would expect them to be more disciplined than the other big teams if that is a scenario, even if the Moroccan defense proves stubborn. So I think that will be the most interesting match of the round of 16. You would expect Spain to be able to go through, but then Morocco, you can never rule them out. So, I think if Morocco is able to pull off an upset, that will be the story of the tournament so far. Portugal, Switzerland it's two teams who have, Portugal team which is largely underperformed, if you could say that, though they played convincingly in the first match against Ghana early on before conceding late goals. You could say that Portugal team has actually underperformed and Switzerland team has performed to its best. So the Portuguese midfield has done well. Bruno Fernandes has been in great form, Bernardo Silva. So the midfield is good and the wingers are also doing well. Ronaldo unfortunately has been an issue. He had a good game against Uruguay where he was a key part of the link-up. Against Ghana, he missed a couple of chances that were straightforward. And again against South Korea, he had a couple of chances that could have been or should have been converted by a player of the quality of Ronaldo. It's not easier for lesser players, but Ronaldo, you expect him to be able to convert those chances, but he missed them. So he is under pressure. There is a mental aspect to it. He's under a lot of pressure coming off back of a horrible start to the season, which ended with him being terminated by Manchester United. So, but the good thing is that Ronaldo is still getting into good positions. There is still the football intelligence is clearly there for all to see. The movement is exceptional. He's just not converting those chances after getting into those good positions. So it can go one of two ways. I think if Ronaldo is able to get over his problems and start scoring against Switzerland, Portugal will definitely go through. Or if Ronaldo early on in the match, if he struggles to convert chances, you would expect Portugal to get chances even though the Swiss defense is exceptional. So if Ronaldo is unable to convert chances early on, I think it will be better for the team if he plays more as a provider rather than trying to shoot. So hold up the ball and give it to teammates. That is likely to work better against the Swiss defense. But I think at the beginning of the match, Ronaldo will be going out there to shoot. But if he misses a couple of shots, he would be the best thing for him to do would be to try to set up his teammates. The Swiss defense, as we mentioned, is very strong, and the team as a whole is a very compact unit that is capable of troubling almost any team in this World Cup. So, and the forwards, Embolo has been scoring goals, and Vargas on the left wing has been very impressive. So, and the Portuguese defense has not been impressive. The Portuguese defense was, in the first match against Ghana, it was horrible. Against Uruguay, it was steady but not exceptional. And again, against South Korea, it is not that good. So the Portuguese defense is not as strong as it looks on paper. At least they have not been playing as well as they are capable of. So I think Switzerland will definitely trouble the defense, but I think Portugal has enough quality in midfield to get through the round. I think a lot will depend on Ronaldo. I think if he has to put the team before himself. He did that against Uruguay, and yesterday also he's always working hard. So I think if Ronaldo performs, even if he doesn't score, if he performs well, I think Portugal should get through. So that was all the round of 16 games. So hopefully we'll have a very exciting start to the knockout stages today. See you next time.